finally got some surprises, didn't we?
Oh,
Was that not fun? Let's start off with the first one. The Jaguars moving up to select Travis Hunter, moving up from that 5th spot, trading with the Cleveland Browns. How do we feel about what they did? And just, Ben, let's talk about the fit first with Travis Hunter.
Yeah, this was a surprise, right? I think over the last 48, 24 hours, you saw more and more they're talking, hey, you know, the Jaguars might be moving up here to 2 to go get Travis Hunter. It's a very tough fit to figure out because, I don't know if you heard, he plays both sides of the ball, right? So you got to first figure out who's coaching this guy, right? Where is he lining up? It sounds like the Jaguars want him to play really on both sides. They're willing to give him that full menu. New general manager James Gladstone saying it's rare you get to pick a player who changes the way the sport works, right? They have a big vision for him. Now, on the wide receiver side with Brian Thomas Jr., great fit. He's the route runner, Travis Hunter is. He's the underneath separator. Thomas Jr. is the field stretcher. Then on the defensive side of the ball, they have room at outside corner, right? Added Jordan Lewis in the nickel in free agency. Tyson Campbell's on the outside. And you expect him to be able to play pretty much any style of corner you want. So the fit's great because the player's great. Most interesting thing to see is how many snaps he gets on which side of the ball.
I think the number one thing that sticks out to me when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, you got to remember, not too long ago, they picked Trevor Lawrence number 1 overall. And they're trying to get consistency when it comes to his play. When you have a Brian Thomas Jr. who was 3rd in receiving yards last year in the National Football League, and then you draft a guy like Travis Hunter, who is a natural route runner as well, a hands catcher, a guy, great body control, there's no excuse for Trevor Lawrence anymore. You got Liam Cohen, who's now come over from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when he was the offensive coordinator there. He's the head coach in Jacksonville. His job mainly is to get Trevor Lawrence on schedule. So what do? You surround him by the respected pieces to get him on board. Now, when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, something that we've seen from Travis Hunter is something that we've never seen in our lives. That's him play every snap on offense, every snap on defense. That's not going to happen in the National Football League, but it is a must. It is criminal if you do not allow this guy to play on both sides of the football. So, yes, they got a hell of a pick, a generational type talent.
And the Hunter thing with the wide receiver is interesting because he's about 180 pounds. Pretty thin for a wide receiver.
Correct.
Earliest drafted receiver since 2007, Calvin Johnson, right, at 2 overall. Liam Cohen's come from Tampa Bay. They had Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Big, right? Those are dense guys. They involved him in blocking in the running game. Hunter is a unique challenge for Cohen. He's never had a receiver like this who's going to have to hide from some of the physicality, but then also you don't have a separator like this, a route runner like this. So it's going to be interesting.
I'm going to have you put on the GM hat here for me, Ben. When we're talking about what was given and received here, we think Travis Hunter is going to be a generational talent. He's something that we have never seen before. But for this move from the Browns' perspective, obviously they drafted Mason Graham. What do you like about this move for them, if you like it at all?
Yeah. So if you're Cleveland, you're expecting, listen, in 2026 we're drafting a quarterback, right? You're moving on from Deshaun Watson. You're restarting the franchise. So to get that future first-round pick is a very big deal, right? You have the ability to make that package in 26, move up to the 1st overall, move up for a guy if you need to. So the theory is sound. On the chalkboard, it feels great. In practice, you had the Travis Hunter pick. And you gave it away, right? And that's a scary thing to do day of. So it took stones. I understand the theory from Andrew Berry. I'm interested to see what it looks like in 3 to 5 years.
So, HD, from that perspective, though, when we were talking about this, when it happened, I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, like, the Browns low-key have the easiest pick of the draft because you're taking the guy that is the unicorn if he doesn't work out. A lot of people would probably end up blaming Travis Hunter as opposed to the GM and the team that took a chance, air quotes, on him, right? I mean, to me, from your perspective, what is it about this trade, like, in terms of the pressure now that the Browns and that front office are under?
So I'll say this first. I live for today, and I worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes. And when you look at Jimmy Haslam and what he said down at the owners' meeting is, hey, we're going to find our quarterback when we find our quarterback, you know, kind of alarming. But at the same time, when you look at a generational talent, because I thought in this draft there were 2 spots, 2 teams who I felt like should not have traded out of their spots. It was the New York Giants. It was the Cleveland Browns because of the generational talent, and I thought we only had 2 in this draft. And that was Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. Me, I don't have the stones to make that trade because I know you're getting a guy, number 1, that can play wide receiver, also go on the defensive side and play cornerback. So I don't really like it.
Yeah, and if I'm Andrew Berry and I'm getting that 26 first, somebody better promise me I have this job in 26. I'm the one who gets to trade this pick or get the quarterback. That's something that's still a little bit uncertain in Cleveland.
I thought you described to the people the way that you described the GM job to me in terms of, your first job is this, your second job is that.
Yeah, a lot of people think GMing is about winning football games. It's not. That's the second most important job. First most important job, keep the job. Stay in the chair. Cash the check. Don't do the risky things. And with Barry now in this Cleveland tenure has been defined by big risks, big swings. And if wins don't come with that, somebody else gets the chair next year.